We're back. Once again. There's gotta be like some hotkey that I'm accidentally pressing to like turn off the like noise suppression that I have. I don't understand. Is there a... No, there's no options for this. Okay, who knows? I'll just have to turn that back on like at the start of every stream. Don't do that. One dash is enough. Yeah, I was thinking that wasn't far enough. I should like wait until the very edge of the platform to jump. Need as much distance as you can get. Oops. This is the only problem with this save state. Having to do this gate every time. I mean, like, every part of the run has their little annoying bits. Goodbye. I think I can heal. Don't think I need silk or anything. Yeah. I think swinging when you climb up, whoops, makes it a little bit faster. Wrong direction. What kind of bad at this? Yeah. Careful now. I think it's random when those guys like wake up. And I know that I was just slow there, so I ran right into them, but like I think it's not always the same. It's interesting how you can get the hard fall, but still like dash out of it sometimes. Whoops. I should probably heal. Whoops. Damn. Yeah, I haven't fought those guys in a while. Oh, slug in the bottom right. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I mean, there's not a huge difference. It's effectively the same thing, except I'm starting from later in the run because I want to practice Act 2 more and Blasted Steps. I think I've decided that like most of the early game is pretty easy, except for Bell Beast. Oh, great. What was that? Wait, what did I just do there? Hold on. Hold on, I'm watching that back. What did I do? Oh, that's really interesting. Can you die real quick? No. I didn't have a dash. That wasn't very good. You don't want to bonk your head there. Yeah, so basically I've decided that the later part of the run is like definitely the part worth practicing a lot more. And like I definitely need to practice the earlier sections until I'm like comfortable with it. When it comes to like consistency in runs, like I'm not gonna die in the first half of the run. That's just not gonna happen. There's not many opportunities to take damage if you know how to do movement and stuff. Whereas the second half of the run, it's like I could be doing good movement, but if I run into enemies a few too many times, then just the run is over, right? Or I have to play it so safe to not die that it ends up being a lot slower. I missed. Like from the moment that I heal and blast the steps for the skip, that's the last chance I have to heal. That doesn't lose time. So any damage I take in blasted steps in this boss fight, in the Citadel on the way to the Cogwork Dancers, in the Cogwork Dancers fight, all of that I have to like survive. You know, considering that all the things that deal double damage, you know, actually not that much. Most of the enemies that deal double damage are easy to avoid. It's just like bumping into them might give me one hinder damage. That movement is definitely far from ideal. I think just doing a normal jump there is good. Okay, I'm rushing too much here. I have a plan for this. I do want to heal, I think. So I want to no-hit the rest of the fight, which I'm not confident about. Whoops, I moved too early. Alright. Like, I guess I won't heal then. That pattern is so evil. Hey. Careful now. That was a little scary. Goodbye. If they didn't want to die, then why would they lock the door with themselves? Does that make sense? You have to kill them to open the doors? I guess they're robots, they didn't really have a choice. I didn't expect that to happen. Yeah. Oh my, it perfectly like blocked me. This guy is actually like in the worst spot possible. I don't know how they like perfectly block. Well, they're not actually, they're just like a huge hitbox that just gets in your way. Well, I'm not happy about my health. Kind of worked out anyways. Wow, can you not run into the enemies directly, please? Somehow I'm like really good at that room. I don't understand. Oops, that's not what you do there. You're the worst. Hello. What? You can do that? Ah, damn. I missed. I'm dead. I was thinking this fight is going so well, but yeah, 2 hits. all it takes, and then the tornado being really hard to hit. I think I need to be more careful in Cogwort Core. Like, there's a certain cycle that I keep taking damage on if I mess it up once. And, like, I should just like be used to like dodging that even if it's not there. That like one saw blade. I messed up the easy version of the skip. I think I shouldn't dash or I shouldn't jump there. That's the wrong direction. I think using the spear is higher DPS. It's just that during this fight, there's chances where you don't get to swing at all, and it's like you might as well use your nail during the silk spear during that time. Like that's a lot of damage that I dealt during a phase where you normally can't get any hits in. So it's best to like save up your silk for these moments. So I did take some damage there. Careful. I did trigger. Oops, don't do that. I was going in the right direction. I changed my mind for some reason.
Vienta!
It's gonna be so difficult for me for some reason. Like, all the platforms are so close together, it's like... I can't, do big jumps or something. Or something like that happens. Did it kill you? Oops. That's what I should be doing. And I don't need to worry about those enemies at all. That was a really risky dash. I had to think about that for a moment. Oh, dude, don't start playing music for them. Whoops. At least I got Silk for a heal, but I should not have done that. Whoops. Ouch. Sorry about that. Interrupting their little routine. Goodbye. Damn, on the way up. What if I just like load a save state? I kind of wish I had hotkeys just to load specific save states. And then I could like defeat a boss and then just immediately like click the button to like, load the next save state. When I think of Minesweeper, it's neat. Both at the same time. Is that like a you're doing both separately but at the same time, or like combined into one amalgamation of a game? Okay, like what was that? Oh, I just blind. Huh. Okay. Well, that's a very unique definition of cool. I'm actually like, do I have a problem? Okay, I'm like pressing right too early. That's like the worst pattern you could do. That missed. Ha! I parried that just to get hit by the next one. Really. Yeah, I don't need to like deal damage or anything. Actually, I don't care. You guys can do whatever you want. Please. Goodness. It's like the worst phase 3 I've ever done. Doesn't involve me dying. I still have to do this. By the way, there's a lot of stuff going on in Ranked World speedrunning right now. Mostly revolving around Watcher. And it's like, I kind of want to get into these categories, but also it's like such a pain to learn. Oh, I didn't have a dash! Because we're using seeds now. Okay, well, I might as well just like stop running this game, my goodness. We're using seeds now and dynamic warps a lot more, which does make the runs like faster. It does make the runs faster to be able to dynamic warp from like one region to another that you want to go to. But it means that if you change the routes at all, then the seed also changes. I mean, it's all like, it's supposed to be random, right? So if you die, if you like shelter an extra time, if you like see an extra like echo or portal or something like that, then the portal, the dynamic warp that you do will go to a different location. So there's two reasons it's a bit of a pain. Well, there's 3 reasons it's a bit of a pain. One, if you want to route something, you have to use a seed finder to find like the warps that you want, then test out the route to see if it all works, and like time it. And if you want to do a different route, if you want to make a slight adjustment, you actually can't, because you can just pick a different seed and all the warps will be different. So basically just like, I think people have been like kind of brute forcing it, just like searching like a ton of seeds and just trying to find one that's like optimal, or one that they're looking for. And there's actually like a kind of limited number of seeds. Like there's not like, I think it's like in like the hundreds of, or like tens of thousands of seeds to pick from, which is like kind of not a lot when you want like 8 or so warps in a row that go exactly where you want. And considering like how many regions there are and like warp destinations, like the chance that you'll get like all of those warps to go exactly where you want is like pretty low. So the chance of there being a seed that has that route is really low as well. Another thing, it's a pain to practice because you can't just teleport to a room and just like do the movements. You have to like make sure that you're at the right ripple level and make sure that the seed is set correctly so that the warps go where you want to go. I guess you could just like warp to rooms and practice the movement and just like pretend that the warps aren't a thing. But there's so many warps in some categories that like each segment is only like 30 seconds long, or, you know, before you have to do another warp or something. In Silksong, like all these save states like account for that stuff. And there's like not like seed stuff that we're doing here in Silksong, but it's like, you know, what items you have, how much health or silk. Some routes involve picking up an item, so it's like you have to like add that item to like your inventory for the save states as well. It all just works at the end of the day. Whoops. How did that shit not have worked? I hit you with your own bell. What a weird enemy. I've been watching a lot of animations recently. I mean, we can watch animations right now, as in like Hornet and Trobu and like everything in this game, right? I guess I should say I've been like observing them more carefully. Another one right afterwards, dude. Animators are crazy. I don't know how you do something like that. I guess that was with a pretty simple art style like this. I did not expect to just die, I'll be honest. like, please someone explain how that can happen. What kind of like hitbox jank is going on there? This guy. What is your hitbox? It's like actually tiny? How am I like running into you? I made the same mistake that I made last time. Why is this area so difficult? It's almost like it's a platforming challenge or something. I think I'll just have to consistently do that kind of pogo. Oops. It's one of those days, isn't it? Anyways, like, animators gotta be insane for, like, drawing, like, the same frame, like, 1,000 times. Not the same. The same, like... You know what I mean. You have to draw the same thing a lot. I guess if you're doing, like, traditional animation. I'm not sure about, like, 3D animation as much. Why did I think that would work? I should do a strategy in this room that I took care of the bell guy first. But yeah, if you just juggle the bombs like that, it's usually unintentional. I would rather the bomb just disappear. Ouch. Ouch. Close to second phase. So dramatic. Okay, one of my friends really doesn't like this game. How does it go? Not elaborate? Oh, I don't know. Oh, there it is. I guess maybe I shouldn't care about learning, or about I shouldn't care much about not taking damage there because there's a bench. Okay. I'm not doing very well today. Tells, as in like enemies, like enemy telegraphs. There's something that I really don't like about the way that enemies telegraph their attacks. I'm gonna, oops, game. There we go. If you look at these guys, look at the telegraph that they do before their attack. Basically, they hold one pose, and then they immediately jump into the attack. So that pose basically says, I'm doing the attack. It doesn't tell you when they're doing the attack. I mean, you can kind of tell. You can kind of get used to the timing, but it's not like they are... Like, imagine a guy holding a sword, and they're winding it back. They're going to swing the sword at you, but the sword will start moving before it hits you. Obviously, right? So if it's a slow attack, I mean, you know, it depends on the animation whether it wants to be fast or not. But, like, you will see the sword moving towards you, and you can kind of gauge when it will reach you and when you need to do your dodge or whatever, you know? Like a parry or a block or something. That doesn't happen. They literally just freeze in one pose, and then they teleport instantly into that attack. I mean, the thing is that this is like super common in this game. There's very few enemies that do like one long swing. Like there's enemies that will jump in the air, and then when they land, they do a swing. And like you could say that the in the air like jumping animation is the like wind up. I was comparing animations from Nine Souls with this game, which maybe that's not very fair. I mean, if anything, it just says that Nine Souls is really high quality. But like Nine Souls, animations are so good at leading up to the exact moment of impact, which is really important because you need to time your parry exactly when they hit you, right? Whereas enemies in Silksong just teleport into their like final like attack frame. Don't do that. I feel like that's not exactly where the difficulty comes from, though. I don't know. I was there's this game, this like puzzle game that I was interested in recently, and it's like it's very interesting. It's not a very difficult puzzle game, and I've not played many puzzle games myself. I've just watched a lot of them. But I've seen a couple of like very difficult puzzle games where it's like the puzzle is, here's a challenge that is very difficult to figure out. You have to spend like several minutes like looking at it, like thinking about like all your options and so on, and you know, whatever puzzle games do. But then this is like a really simple game where it's like the puzzle is, how do I do this? And there's an answer to that question, and it's very simple. It's just like, here, how do you do this? Here's how you do it, you know? And it teaches you those mechanics very slowly, one by one. It gives you a puzzle, and there's only one way you could possibly solve it. So you mess around, and then you solve it, and then the next puzzle is basically the same exact solution, but a little bit different. And then so is the next puzzle, and so is the next puzzle, and so on. Okay, yeah, whatever. I mean, I mostly watch like edited videos, so I don't know how long people are thinking about these puzzles. Maybe it's a really long time. You know, these ones, it's like the game tells you what to do, and then it's like, all right, do it, but a little bit different. I was also thinking about Nine Souls, as I tend to do. I heard somewhere, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that they made the final boss first, and then they built the rest of the game as a way to teach you and prepare you for that final fight. And I don't feel like that's how the game is designed. Or if it is how they try to do it, they failed. Because the final boss is a massive difficulty spike, and I've seen a lot of people struggle a lot with it, even if they were doing pretty well against the other bosses. Like, I've seen people like beat bosses in like a couple of attempts, and then they get to the final boss, and it takes like 30 attempts or like 50 attempts, you know. And it's a pretty common thing to make like the final challenge in your game a culmination of like the skills that you've learned. And you know, Nine Souls has some things like that. Like it has like unbounded counters, the green counters, the what else? There's this thing that I don't think Dinosaurs teaches very well, and it's the difference between red attacks that you can parry and red attacks that you should dodge. Because at the start of the game, it's all just you dodge these, right? You parry every attack, but if it's red, you dodge it. And it gives you the unbounded counter, and it's like, okay, you should try to parry these red attacks. And it gives you a bunch of really slow, predictable red attacks, right? You have all the time in the world to prepare an unbounded counter. But then some bosses, like the final boss and Lady Ethereal, have red attacks that are so fast you can't possibly react to them. You don't have enough time to charge up the unbounded counter unless you are like doing it in advance. So then you're like kind of a little bit kind of confused, like, oh, these are red attacks. I should be able to unbounded counter them, but you just like don't have the time and you take damage from it. And then you're like, okay, well, I guess I should like not risk like doing the counter. I should just dodge all of them. And then there's bosses that have like really big red attacks that you need to parry, or else there's like extra consequences, like fire on the floor or something like that. And the fight becomes a lot easier, or like you get like a really big stagger out of it. So it's like really worth it to get that unbounded counter. Agong's red attack is like has such a massive area of effect that you can't. It's like really hard to dodge unless you're like actively running away before the attack starts. So like, you need to unbounded counter this. Except, I think I've seen a lot of people struggle to differentiate that attack with the other red attack, or not red attack, but the green attack. But every green attack starts red, which I think is actually just annoying. Eggnog mentioned. It's like, by the way, you can parry green attacks. They don't actually look green. They look red and then green, but it's actually really hard to see because they're moving. The one attack that was hardest for me to learn was the one... I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to describe it. When you parry her talisman attack, in the first phase, it doesn't stagger her, but like nothing happens, right? Or no, is that correct? I feel like I want to go like just fight the boss right now. I forget which attack leads up to it, but there's like two different attacks that she can do, where it's like one of them... I don't remember, man. The point is, you're supposed to take the safe option and always dodge, even if one of the variations doesn't require a dodge immediately. And I was thinking like, oh, every attack has a proper like counter attack or counter like method, and I haven't learned like, or I haven't like figured out how to counter both versions of the attack. The answer is just you counter one version of the attack that covers both by playing it safe, essentially. I don't know if there's a situation like that elsewhere in the game. There probably isn't, it just doesn't look exactly the same, so I didn't recognize it. And then her final phase has the red attacks in midair. And unless you've like done some experimenting, it's like not clear if you can do unbounded counters midair. And that's something that I need to experiment with in the fights. Like, oh, there's a red attack, I need to unbound counter it, except I can't. Oh yeah, you're supposed to just dodge these, except I don't have a dodge. Oh, I need to jump over it. There's just not like a red attack that you have to jump over like that. And you have to get through an entire boss fight to get to that point, to like test it out once or twice, or else you die. You know, if your experimentation is incorrect, then you just die and you have to restart everything. I was kind of thinking, most games are easier than challenges created by, like, user-created content. Yeah, like, that boss is so slow that you could react to everything. Pretty much. like if you play a game, it's like, you know, even really difficult games like the Souls games or like some platformers, like they're like hard, but like some person's gonna make a mod that's like 20 times harder, you know. But I think that's always because those kinds of like mods or like fan games or whatever, they always have some method of practice and some like strategy behind like practicing the level. Like Geometry Dash levels are absurdly hard, but like people practice them in a very specific way, like using a ton of checkpoints and practicing in like individual segments. Whereas people when playing the base levels tend to not use practice mode at all, or at least I've seen some people do it like that. It's like, yeah, it's a challenging game, but it's not hard enough such that you need to go into practice mode. You can just like react to every new section from the start. But that's usually how games are, yeah. When you're fighting the final boss of Elden Ring, you don't get to practice their final phase. You just get to the final phase and it's like, good luck. And if you die, well, it's gonna take like 2 minutes to get back to that point and get another attempt at it. And if it's like a really hard attack, like maybe there's a correct way to respond, but you have to guess. You know, you guess and you try it and you mess up and you die, and you have to do the whole fight over again to test out another theory. Except you might be like panicking and it's like hard to like, you know, think about like what exactly the correct response should be. Whereas if you're like practicing like a mod of a very difficult boss, you just like here's an option to skip to the final phase, practice as much as you want, and then practice like the second to last phase, and so on. And then once you do a full attempt from the start, it's really easy because you've already practiced everything before. I think if you could skip to the final phase of Aegon, it would be like a top way easier. Because I think like the variation that is introduced in her second phase threw me off, but I couldn't practice it because I died every time it happened. It's like, well, time to spend a minute to get back to that point. I wonder if there could be like a game aimed at a general audience that kind of teaches you that kind of like method of practice. Where it's like, hey, this game is really difficult, but here's like the tools to practice it so that you can eventually improve your skills and like get good at it, you know? Instead of just trying to be like easy and like give you checkpoints and extra health to let you make mistakes and such. Yes, I think I've noticed like there's games that, oh, I just took damage. That's the wrong button. You may have noticed. A game can be difficult to like try to no hits, but it's designed such that you can make mistakes. An average player might play Elden Ring and take a ton of damage against a boss fight, but if they've like stockpiled a bunch of heals and maxed out their health or not maxed out, but like upgrade their health a ton, you know, they could probably make it through. I'm sorry, these enemies in random positions are really starting to bother me. Well, I guess I can just do that, huh? You can only play one game so much until you start talking about other stuff. I actually made the same mistake again, but I just didn't have enough silk to heal. I really don't like the position of you. Ow. That would have been a great opportunity to heal. Oh, why? Why making me walk over here? Come on. There we go. I think it spawns me in the trigger and it like doesn't activate until I leave and enter it again. Can you stop doing that? Shit. Oh, 3 spears? I don't know if that last one hit though. Oops. Yeah, don't do that. They don't expect the second tornado. That's a pretty nice movement. I should try to do that more. Yeah, what is up with this red effect on the screen? It's like way more bright than usual. Alright, this is orange. subtle metaphor. I don't, whoops, that's the wrong button. Subtle foreshadowing for me, like dunking in the lava right now. Yep. Oh, let's do it again, actually. Whoops. I'm really, today is not the day. I like how literally every bot that shows up is already marked by Twitch as a suspicious user. Like, yeah, we know, and also like for ban evasion, it's like, yeah, we know that this is a problem, but we're just like not gonna worry about it. And I don't think there's been a single like actual viewer who's like had the same warnings attached to them. So it's a pretty accurate check, I guess. Ah, damn. Don't do that. Please press the buttons correctly. I predict that in like a few years, when people are making like speedrun history videos about Silksong, Trubia will be like a very important part of the run. Like this person got world record because they spent like 2,000 attempts grinding RNG on Trubia. Actually, I don't think the effect was gone. I think it was just bugged for a bit. Wow, I did it correctly. Didn't do that correctly. I didn't expect you to do that. stop. I think the dash attack is pretty fun to use, but it's very annoying to do accidentally. That's such a wind up to it. I did not jump far enough.
Magina Fora.
Surprised that worked, considering I messed it up horribly. And that.
Nesvir. Familia.
By the way, I should probably maybe I should have said this earlier. Apparently there's a new world record that uses a different routes than what I'm doing. Which, that'd be a lot of fun. So I have to go back and learn a completely different routes that may involve the mist again. But I also heard that maybe that means it'll be split into a different category. Because it's an old patch. I don't know. Like, most speedruns are done on an older version of the game, so it would be surprising if the community just kind of accepted that. I don't know. I don't really want to learn the mist or just do a different route in general. But I know that there's a lot of potential with this route. Like, world record could probably be gone on this route again. But like, would a potential world record holder want to spend time on a route that's potentially slower in the long run? I don't know. Hitboxes are so functional. I mean, it's not like I have to learn the entire route again. It's like just like one segment. But it's quite a difficult segment. I think there was some other change to the route that made it better. I forget exactly what it was. No, my face. Ouch. I did it like 3 frames too early. This is where I pretend I never die and just like keep going like nothing happened. Oh, we're just gonna skip. Just gonna skip that. If you... I just had the thought. Speedrunning is like kind of not worthwhile. Finally waking up. Playing video games is a waste of time. Yeah, that's true. It's not true, but it kind of is. I mean, you could like extend that and say like all like forms of art are a waste of time because they're not like practical. I think it kind of goes in the opposite direction. Everything else is a waste of time if you're not enjoying yourself or like interacting with the people around you. I guess I'm not talking about that now. I'm thinking I'm practicing. Okay, right now I'm practicing this Silksong speedrun. Well, let's assume for a second that let me get to the area with the good music. But let's assume for a second that there's a new route and it is faster. Okay. So there's a new speedrun route. It's faster than the one that I'm doing right now. Therefore, if I want the best run possible, then I should practice the new route because it has a higher like potential in the future. if my goal is to get the best run possible, is that the goal? I don't know. Like, is this something that I want to do for a very long time? I think I would like it to be. But like with Rain World, you know, there's a point where it's not like that anymore. And so, like, do I care about the end result or the process? Let's say I care about the end result for a second. And I spend a few months practicing a lot and actually getting good compared to other runners somehow. let's not worry about how that process would happen. Let's say I'm able to do it and I get like a top 5 run, or maybe in like a top 1 or 2. Okay. I'm now like a footnote in a speedrun history video in like 5 years. Because I get the world record for like a week and then someone else beats it, and then it's too much effort to like try to beat it again, so I stop. And also, since I barely interact with the community, they probably wouldn't even like know about me too much. Like, oh yeah, this guy just showed up and he got world record, but like no one really knows anything about him, so we're just like not gonna care too much. Okay, kind of doesn't sound great if I put it like that. Let's say I'm doing it for the process, and I do enjoy speedrunning this game. I think there's really good movements. Doing successful runs is pretty fun and satisfying. You know, you do longer runs, you take damage, you die, you have to reset and do the same thing over and over again. There's a bunch of cutscenes, and it's like, well, I have to like every like 5 minutes I have to sit and wait and do nothing for a bit. And also randomly on some days I like play worse and I feel bad about it, which is probably the reason I'm playing worse in the first place. Okay, so let's pretend that I'm not enjoying this. Let's not make any definitive statements, but let's say like, okay, what else would I do? There's a billion answers to this. If I kept streaming, I mean like, I could keep streaming miscellaneous Rainworld stuff. But I've kind of run out of things to do / motivation to do them. There's that like arena mod or whatever. What do you call it? I don't know, like you have to kill all the enemies. Yeah, I did say I was gonna do that. I could play new games when they release. So hey, this Animal Well game came out. It's pretty fun, except actually it's really annoying after like 3 hours because half the content is like extremely hidden. Because you know you're not going to know what the game is like before you play it. Because that's the experience, right? That's what you get. That's what you're signing up for. That you don't know what's going to be like. But maybe that's a skill that I'm not particularly proficient at making things interesting, even if the content itself is not. Right? You could probably watch a YouTuber play a bad game, or even like a mediocre game. It can still be fun, because they're good at that kind of thing. I think it's really hard. It's really hard to like or to like pretend to be enjoying something when you're like tired and you would just rather move on and do something else. And I mean, streamers do that as well, right? I'm not the kind of streamer who like streams for like 8 hours and does like 5 different things in that time. I also really hate the idea of trying to like stream to like the meta, to like I guess what you call it, to like do the stream meta of like doing whatever is optimal. Like look at the most successful streamers and do whatever they're doing. I think that's like kind of toxic mindset for a lot of things. To like, I'm basically just saying like to just focus on success as the metric that you're going for, to try to maximize. Like, here's the ways that you can stream to like maximize engagement and maximize like new viewers. And like you gotta stream for like every day for like 8 hours or more. You gotta like upload clips to like YouTube Shorts and TikTok. You have to like edit your streams into highlight videos, post those on YouTube, and like you have to like maintain some other social media and like post like announcements and interact with the community and so on and so on. It's like, that sounds like a pain. So let's not do that. Gotta form a cult and do blood sacrifices. And like there's times where I enjoy the streaming thing. There's times where I don't. sometimes I have a lot of things to talk about, and the chat just kind of like isn't there, or they're talking about other things, and it's like, well, why do I bother? You know. Sometimes that happens with Rain World. It's like, yeah, there's an audience here that's interested in Rain World, and if I talk about other stuff, they're just gonna keep talking about whatever. Maybe Rain World, maybe something else, I don't know. Or if they talk about something else, then I don't know how to engage because it's something I'm not familiar with. How do you do this? I don't think you can get 2 hits in. And there's like, maybe this is a flaw. Probably. That there's like all sorts of different like hobbies that I get into and never like stick around to actually like improve at them. I wanted to be a game developer for a long time. It turns out it's like, that's like actually like the most difficult thing you could ever do. And involves learning like 5 other skills as well. There's this YouTube channel that I used to enjoy the videos of, but I enjoy less now because they were a indie developer, and I really enjoyed their game development videos because it was just like a look at like the process of creating games, but also like it was really fun because the game was really unique. They were just fun videos, and it was a cool game, and I did end up playing it, and it was, I did enjoy it a lot. But now it's like their channel is like only about like maximizing indie game dev, like it's a business. Like, how can you like design a game that's like appeal to an audience? So like, how can you like get people to see it? How can you get the most like sales on Steam and so on and so on? It's like, well, what about the games? What about the video game that you're making? Can you talk about that? Anyways, why did I bring them up in the first place? Game dev is really hard. But you know, if I spent like 3 hours, if I spent 9 hours every week practicing game development instead of streaming, then you know, I'd probably have a game by now. Or like practicing art or music or something else, you know. What do you get about what do you get out of speedrunning? You get a video that people can watch and be like, oh, this guy's pretty good at this game, and then someone else gets a record over you, and it's like, well, that one's the one that people are gonna watch now. There's something that I thought about recently. There's this thing about like imagine a product that is obviously a bad idea. I'm sorry, I can't like think with this music. You look at this product and like, that's a stupid idea. Why would anyone buy this? And then so some YouTuber buys it, and you watch their video about this product, and you're like, you know, it's a funny video. You're like, ah, this product is so bad, it's funny, you know, whatever. Nowadays, there's a lot more content creators. So many people have like some form of social media. I mean, look at me. I'm literally live streaming right now, and I have bought games to stream them that I may have not done otherwise. These companies are probably very happy that a lot of people are using social media, because there's more people who are like, well, this product is really bad and I wouldn't normally be interested, but I'm gonna buy it anyway to make fun of it. You know, this thing of like, I did this so that you don't have to. Like, I bought this really awful thing so that you don't have to. And now there's like 1,000 different like streamers and YouTubers and people on TikTok, I don't know what to call them, who are like, I did this thing so that you don't have to. But that's now like 1,000 people instead of like 10. And probably a lot more than 1,000. Haven't even played Silksong. Well, there's this guy called Trobio. The total shift of the stream. I'm just talking about whatever, man. Does he have any counterplay to this strategy? I don't think he does. Ah. I like how the save state spawns me in at 4 health, just because. Why did I do that? What Beyblade? I'm way better at improving at video games than like anything else, which I think is a little bit unfortunate. I guess it's, whoops, don't look at that. Like, I've done this a lot. I've played a lot of games. It's like, it's so easy to get good at a game. Isn't that weird? Well, it's not weird actually. It makes a lot of sense. But like, you know, it's just meant to be like entertainment. It's just meant to be fun. But then like 1,000 hours later, and I'm like, I'm really good at this. really niche skill. And I could pick up another game and get good at it in like 100 hours or something. Does it mean that I'm like at a professional level? Definitely not. But like, it's just like it's like an inevitable process. I don't even have to put in any effort. I just think that's interesting that like other skills that I've tried to learn are like you have to like force yourself to like practice regularly. And also just like the idea of like even trying is like kind of painful. Like, yeah, I know that like in order to improve at arts, you need to draw a lot, and also you're going to be bad at first. But it's like, man, I don't want to draw it. It's going to look awful. But like obviously, and I know that when I start playing a new game, I'm gonna suck at it. And I play Nine Souls, I like fumbled so bad for like the first 2 streams because I like wasn't used to parrying. And I don't feel that doesn't feel painful. That's just playing a game, you know. Yeah, you're gonna be bad at it at first, and that's just natural. And that's like not at all a problem for me. But you do some other, or I do some other creative skill, and it's like, well, this sucks. I don't want to do it. But like, obviously, that's just part of the process. I think ideally, there would be a point where it's like, I can't like fight Tropio at the moment. There's like artists who love experimenting with new medium. And it's like, this is not. Okay, I'm here. You know, they like paint with like with paint. they paint with paint, you know, traditional like a traditional medium like that. And they're like, I'm gonna try like a clay sculptures. I'm gonna try using charcoal. I'm gonna try using or doing digital art. I'm gonna try, you know, they just do all sorts of things. And it's like they enjoy the process of like experimenting with these like new mediums, even if they are bad at them at first. And at that point, like, they've gotten good at improving, that they can pick up some unfamiliar medium and improve at it and enjoy the process. Hornet is very old, by the way. People experiment in new programming languages for fun. What? Or maybe I'm making an assumption here. I shouldn't do that. So I don't know. Maybe a lot of people just stick with like one programming language. I actually do that sometimes. It's fun. Okay, there you go. That's like, why would you want to do that? You spend all this time getting familiar with one programming language and you know how to do everything. It's like time to like, oh, that's not where I'm supposed to do that. Time to throw all that in the garbage and struggle with everything again. Or people, speaking of languages, people who learn actual languages. Apparently it gets a lot easier after the first one. Or if you're already multilingual, I guess. It's like, oh yeah, like I learned like, you know, this language. I'm like, well, I might as well learn another, and then another, and then another. Like, I guess maybe that's a kind of similar thing. It's like I enjoy playing games, and therefore, if I played one game enough, and I'm tired of that, and I want a new challenge. And it's like, oh, time to pick another game. But also, I don't think the challenge is the point. I think it's just like this game is fun. And just getting good at it is just the natural way that I express that. I don't even have to like set like getting good as like the end goal. It's just like that's just what's gonna happen without even trying. It'd be cool to get to that point with some other skills. I'm not making any progress today. And actually, what I'm doing right now is different than what I'm talking about. Because what I'm doing right now is trying to deliberately improve my skills in a specific way. Which actually tends to make it a less enjoyable process. I don't need to bench. I find it hard to practice speedruns. It's like something I have to force myself to do. It's kind of part of the reason why I do these streams sometimes. That's actually part of the reason why I started streaming. Because I struggle to like find motivation to do things that are challenging. Like, well, if I force myself to do something for like 3 hours, then I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna like give myself a schedule, and I'm gonna stick to that schedule. And I guess it does have results. It has shown results where like when I was speedrunning a lot of Rain World, it may have not been something that I wanted to do. Yeah, Sphere Master like really sucks to speedrun, but I sucked at the stream schedule, and eventually I got a world record, right? Oh, come on. And even if I set some time in the day to like practice, oh my goodness. Like today I'm going to practice Silksong even though I'm not streaming. I usually practice for about 30 minutes and I do something else. Like having someone look over your shoulder the whole time, making sure that you're staying focused, and it's like, well, I guess I gotta do it, you know? Why am I doing this? That's what I've been asking. Why bother forcing myself onto a schedule where I do something that I don't want to do? Well, I think because it's like, it is kind of something that I want to do. I mean, if myself, or maybe a lot of other people, never wanted to do things that were difficult, we would not make much progress at all. Like that's kind of what I was talking about, right? I enjoy playing games, and as a natural result of that, I improve at a skill that kind of is worthless. Unless, I mean, even for like I don't know, like competitive esports, that's you can't just be casual about that. Like you have to like spend a lot of time practicing. Let's say I want to be an artist, which I do. Then I would need to spend a lot of time practicing and improving in art, right? But if I don't enjoy the process, then I'm not going to want to do it. I have to find some way to force myself to do it. Let's say instead I was streaming art. Every 3 times a week, I do a stream like I'm going to draw something, and I do it because I'm streaming and I'm kind of forcing myself to do this thing. In that case, maybe it's not something that I want to do or something that I enjoy, but I know that for the end result, it's worth it. Because by the end of this process, or maybe not, there isn't exactly an end, but eventually at some point during this process, I'll be left with some skill that I'm like happy about, that I want in the long term. Right. So like if I don't want to do it, then sure, maybe by the end of that process, I would be capable of creating artwork that is considered good. But if I didn't enjoy the process, if every single time I was forcing myself to do it, then eventually I'd want to stop. And it would become worthless. Why bother building up that skill if I don't want to regularly be taking advantage of it? But I think in that case, I wouldn't really. I guess what I'm saying is I would like to get to a point where I can enjoy other things, where I can be like, today I want to have fun and draw some art, just because I want to. That's how I want to spend my time, and that's what I enjoy doing. And as a byproduct, I end up improving. That's like the end goal. To not want to achieve some sort of end product or improve a skill or whatever, but to get to the point where it's something that you just enjoy doing. And accidentally you end up improving a lot, or creating some sort of end product that is satisfactory. Think about the Silksong devs. As a result of really enjoying game dev, I mean, I hope that is the case if their interviews are to be believed. If they spent the past like 6 years just having a great time, working together, making art, just as a consequence of that, we're now left with a very enjoyable game to play. Three out of 10, thank you.
Kaspin? Fadastama. Da, finestra. Cadestre.
Whoops, that's not how you do that room. I think there's actually a way to do that, Pogo. Yeah. I don't know if I want to try doing that. I wonder if that's ever worth doing. I do think that trying to like optimize like productivity to like turn yourself into a machine is like kind of a toxic mindset. If you're familiar with LinkedIn as a social media platform, that kind of culture is common there, as I've heard. But there's like there's probably a good way to do that, a more healthy approach to like think like, well, I do need to achieve some level of productivity to get anything done if I have some sort of goal in mind. They ruined. Sorry about that. Whoa, I didn't die to that? That was not good. You're welcome, America. That's not the right area. We finally figured out. This is what Unshaded Citadel is. It is just called the Citadel after all. The Citadel of Song. That was not very good. Maybe that is kind of the answer to everything. That for every person who is successful in a particular creative field, the answer to like, how did you get so good at that? Is just because they enjoyed it. And so it's just, that's just the natural progression of things. Which, by the way, why do people ask that question? Oh wow, your art is so good. How do you get so good? Oh man, they practice. So everyone gets good at everything, dude. They didn't actually magically wake up one day and just get good at this particular skill. You want them to like explain like their whole routine, like what they do every day and like how they're trying to like improve regularly or their goals or whatever, like. That's the wrong direction. That was actually going pretty well. World record yet? Shrub? I was gonna ask you a question. Do you enjoy practicing speedruns in Rainworld? I'm so bad at this. Watch your no. Okay, how about like depth practice when you were starting that? Because I know you practice depths like yeah, you practice depths a whole lot. I remember there's a time where you were streaming where I would like check the stream and like, what was it's depths again? It's this like same room where you do like the backflip onto the weird platform. You've probably done that jump like 100 times. That was like old devs, right? Where it wasn't, it was a lot darker. Okay, here's another question. I mean, you don't have to answer if you don't want it, but like, was that kind of practice something that you wanted to do? Like, oh, I'm gonna, or this something they wanted to do, or something that you like forced yourself to do, with some sort of like goal in mind at the end? I messed up. Troy is getting interrogated. This is why I'm. I mean, if you don't want to answer. Because I'm thinking, I don't know how much I've enjoyed most like the process of like improving at a speedrun. And also these streams were like a reason for me to like do something consistently. Because I would not be like, today I'm going to play Spearmaster Storpus because it's so fun. It was like, I'm going to stream because I scheduled a stream for myself. And what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to do more Speedmaster practice because that's what I'm doing at the moment. And as a result of that, I got world record in that category, right? But it wasn't like, I'm really enjoying the speedrun. I'm just going to keep doing that. Oops, I got world record. I got so carried away having fun with the speedrun that I'm this video game that I'm playing for fun that I just got world record. Even though, for other games that I've played, without even having improving as a goal, just playing it because it's fun, that kind of just became the inevitable outcome, that I would get better at it. That like, you know, I mean, games tend to be structured like this, where it's like, where it gets more challenging over time. You're playing Celeste and it's like, you know, you just play the game because it's fun, but each level gets more difficult, so you just kind of have to get good at the game in order to keep progressing. And you move on to like, you beat all the games, you get the hearts and the secrets and strawberries, and you get the B-sides and the C-sides, and you just keep playing the games because it's fun. And as a result, the game is forcing you to do harder and harder content, and you're just improving at the skills required to do that, right? I didn't play Celeste thinking, I want to beat Farewell, I want to beat all the C-sides. Like, it was just like, I want to play this game because it's fun. Oops, I'm now like pretty good at Celeste, right? And I kind of maybe came to the conclusion that people who are particularly skilled at various games or sports or arts, those are the people who just enjoy the process. Not like, I need to spend X amount of hours every day practicing, I need to, you know, do this and do this and do that. It's just like, today I'm going to do this because I want to. And then they just accidentally get good. I had a lot of time to react to that attack. This just that just remind me of Ice streams, where he would be in the middle of an actual speedrun, but pause the game for like 10 minutes to talk with chat, because only in-game time was counted, so you could just do that. I'm just doing practice right now. This is not a real run. I can just load a save state, but like, imagine being in an actual speedrun and just doing that, and then uploading that run. Whoops. That's the wrong button that I'm pressing. Please. Today is not a do good runs kind of day. Motorsports? I don't even know what that means, so no. Health Architect? I can go visit them if you want. Are they good? How'd you get in here? It's for the silk, I guess. Trying to do something fast is kind of like trying to do something fast. That's crazy. Actually, that is a really hard attack to dodge. Goodness. I'm not doing this room correctly. What's up? You know, now that you say that, I realize challenge runs are like a trillion times more interesting than speedruns. And that was like the way that I played a lot of games in the past. I've played Terraria for a long time. All because there's a bunch of different ways to challenge yourself. To limit yourself to a specific playstyle, or using certain items, or like restricting yourself or something like that. And there's no, like, you don't need to be perfect, you just need to be good enough to beat the challenge, right? Hunter, okay, so now that you mentioned that, actually, I take it all back. I understand why my perspective on that has changed, because when you're playing Rain World for 2 years, challenges no longer become appealing. Maybe in some other game, actually. Maybe if I didn't play Rain World, I wouldn't become a speedrunner, I'd become a challenge runner. But for Rain World, that was like the better option. Like, oh, I wanna play this game a lot, but I've already beaten it. I guess I'll do speedruns because challenges are like abysmal. Yeah, I think that's what happened. And now I'm playing Silksong, assuming that I have to be a speedrunner, when in reality I should be like doing like a nail like a -3 run or something like that. I actually did think about doing that, trying to beat the game with like nail 0, no items or whatever. All the public challenges are unfun. Yeah, they're kind of created by people who want to showcase niche mechanics, even if they aren't very fun in practice. Although that's not every challenge, but it is a few of them. And actually, this is kind of what I've said about multiplayer games versus single player games, where it's like when you're playing a competitive game with matchmaking, you can't really beat the challenge because every time you win, you just make it harder for yourself by getting matched up against harder opponents. It's like even if you've gotten 3 times as good at the game, you are now facing opponents that are just as good as you, and it doesn't really feel like you've improved at all. Whereas you can play Dark Souls and suck at it and like die a whole lot to the bosses, but then when you get 3 times better, you can then play through the whole game and beat like every boss in your first try. I mean, I actually don't know how challenging that is. You know, you get to a point where it's like, hey, these bosses are like, you know, I could destroy them now that I'm familiar with their attack patterns. Don't play multiplayer games with matchmaking, but speedrunning is similar. There is no beating the speedrun. There is always just like beating your own time or beating someone else's time. I guess you could make it a game of like set a goal for yourself to get like a sub-hour run, and then you that is a challenge now. But that just keeps going forever. Prefer to fight stronger opponents. I love playing games where every enemy is just as strong as you and you die for making like 2 mistakes 10 hours ago. I wasn't even pressing the right button, man.
That's fine.
You're so healthy. This is game. I've mentioned it a few times. Oh my god. Realm of the Mad God. It's a kind of bad game. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's also like really fun. It's a bullet hell MMO with permadeath. And honestly, there's like a billion problems with the game, and let's just pretend that they don't exist for a second, because it's an MMO, so it's designed around playing with a big group of people, especially some of the harder dungeons. You could maybe call them raid dungeons. It's like you're gonna go in with a group of like 20 plus people, and that tends to make it pretty easy. There's several players who are gonna be healing you all the time, providing you buffs, distracting enemies' attacks, so on. Half the time you can't just stand in the group and just tank everything, and gameplay kind of just falls apart. But since those bosses are designed for those scenarios, they're way harder to do solo. And the way that HP scaling works, they tend to have a lot more HP when it's just one of you compared to like a whole group, because each extra player contributes less extra health to the boss. But it is a very... That was the kind of game that kind of like Celeste. I mean, it's not like Celeste at all, but the way that I described Celeste earlier is kind of like this, where it's like just playing the game means improving at it because you see all these bosses, and I set the personal goal for myself to like try to beat all the bosses solo. Or that was kind of what I was like working towards. It's like that was a really fun process because these bosses are really challenging. Also, actually, it goes back and forth. Because if you die, you lose your character, and it takes like hours to get your equipment back. It's a kind of grindy game, and I don't find that a particularly enjoyable process. Okay, that's exactly what I'm saying. But I find with other skills, it's hard to do that. Yes, if you draw every day, you're gonna get better at drawing. But you need to draw every day. You need to stick to that.
Yanara.
Steamed spider. Yeah, these video games have all these tricks to keep you engaged, like want you to keep playing. Realm of the Mad God would probably prefer people keep playing so they can keep spending money on the game. Art is not a thing that exists, it is just some concept, some mix of things that are possible because of physics. And there's like a million people out there who have gone through the process of learning art and have a billion different ways to tell you, or did I say a million? A million different ways to tell you what you need to do to improve.
Imagina for.
What if I fought Lace and then ended the stream? What if I did that? Sliding. Crap, I fell for it again. Oh, I need to set a thing. I probably should have tried to not die. Thinking about it now. Hold on. I just remembered. 9 souls was that exact thing. I never had a goal or like some sort of like intention of like getting really good at defeating Aegon. I wasn't doing a speedrun or anything. I wasn't trying to like do a speed kill or some sort of like, I don't know. But I legitimately, for like months after beating the game, like at least once a week, I would just open up the game and just fight Aegon for like 30 minutes because it's like the best fight ever. And as a result, I got really good at the fight. That that actually probably resembles practicing for like a speedrun or something the most, right? Just doing something repetitive, just go into the game, fight this boss over and over and over again. I mean, it's basically what I'm doing right now, yeah? Except I'm not like, I want to open up Silksong and fight this boss because it's so fun. It's like, well, I guess I gotta practice this boss right for the speedrun. No, I did fight Lost Lace a couple times after beating the game. Because I wanted to test out some unique builds. It's not exactly like a God Home. That was kind of nice in Hollow Knight to like have a place where you can try out lots of different builds. Like I want to try a spell build, I want to try a nail build, I want to try a summons build. Carmelita will only deal 1 damage per hit. That sounds great. Yeah, I would do that. That is a good boss, man. I don't fight them in the speedrun, so I actually would like to do that fight again. I could probably do that right now. I don't have save states for it. I could go download like an Act 3 save states and go like, because this mod lets you change your damage. So decrease needle damage. I can bring it down to 1. Actually, let's let's do that against Grandmother Silk. Level 1 9 souls. That run was really fun, except for that one hallway. Because that hallway is kind of just like a DPS check. Why do you have to run off the edge every time, Hornet? Yep, I do 1 damage. Wait, the call line gets rounded down to 0. So staggers are just based on the number of hits, so it doesn't not affected by damage. Thought I took damage there. It's funny the way that animation looks when it's like against the edge of the arena. Oops, I'm looking at chat too much. Ay. First base sure is going on. Oh, that did hit still. Well, I actually was implying that I'd also fight Grandmother Silk. I just didn't say it because I don't know why. Actually, this is kind of a really good way to practice. Because I'm like forcing myself to dodge these attacks and I can't just like face tank. Because if you defeat the boss within a certain time, it doesn't matter if you take damage, right? Yikes, that was a little bit close. Second... Wait, don't tell me I'm now on the second part of the first phase. Oh, okay. So we're like halfway done with the first phase. That was really close. I was so in the zone. I got that blue background around me. Oh, really? Ouch. What is that you said? I should just play 9 Souls again? Just do another full playthrough? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Well, I should have done the other spell. I just take damage for that. Why did I do that? Oh, I thought it went higher. Can you stop doing that? I actually really like this fight, but actually I think second phase is kind of a downgrade. It kind of makes it a little bit more annoying and not too much more difficult. Because you can always just wait out the hazards. Like canonically, this should be like how hard it actually is to kill a higher being. I almost died. Any day now. Okay, well, rip. That's rough. After all that. Kind of made some sloppy mistakes at the end. I actually could play Fury. I don't think I want to. I don't know why. Something about that game looks like it's a... I don't know. I've decided that I don't want to play it, and I'm not going to challenge that. Thanks everyone for watching. See ya.